Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video to do my uh English dub episode 11 RWBY Ice Queendom review. Alright, so in this episode it continues where it lets off with Nega Blake is fighting Nega Weiss, and is really overwhelming Nega Weiss. Like she's saying like, oh, this, you're not the, what has happened to you, like the justice, and I'm gonna give you judgment and all this stuff. And she's just they talk about the I didn't mean to hurt all the fondnesses or whatever, and I'm like, that's not true. And then at least for negative it is, not for regular Weiss, because the negative, like, they were like judging them and all that stuff. But then Weiss like counters, or negative Blake like counters with, oh yeah, you did, we have to steal, because you guys steal from us. Stuff from the original RWBY, basically, they're kind of talking about. And so that was kind of what they were fighting on. But yeah, I mean, that was the first time we've seen Nega Weiss kind of be, saying stuff that was very inconsistent. And she was like, oh, now I know you're being controlled by something. She was able to figure it out. Meanwhile, we see RWBY, who is like going to the place where to take out Nega Weiss's connection to the nightmare. She is fighting that off. She's fighting that off, and they're all hoping that this plan will come together because this is their last chance. RWBY, like, when she's fighting it off, like, she has flashbacks of the dream Weiss that she talked to, about how her, her crescent rose is, the gun is on backwards. And Weiss is like, oh, no, there's a reason. And Weiss eventually, or I'm sorry, not Weiss, RWBY eventually figures it out and starts shooting the vines in the back to get to the Weiss clothing thing or whatever, I guess, that she needed to get to. However, the vines start to overwhelm RWBY, and she eventually traps her in the vines, and they have her by the grip, and she doesn't have the crescent roads. And then the silver eyes activates, and it's very interesting because at this point in the timeline, RWBY doesn't know about the silver eyes, though technically this is an alternate version. So I guess that's why. But the silver eyes basically takes out the Grim, and then the other Grim comes out of the shadow, because it was where you least expect it. Comes out of the Grim, main Grim comes out of the shadow. She starts shooting at it and destroys it. It comes out and Shinon basically captures it with his net or whatever, and puts it in the little red pod jar thing or whatever and lids it up. And so Weiss then reverts to her original self, like the way she is in the real world, in her dream world. And she even talks about what clothes she's wearing and whatnot. In the meantime, Yang comes back to help. And Ruby is there outside, because now that Negative Weiss is no more and it's the regular Weiss. Now they have to take out Negative Blake, which has Jean's, possessed nightmare that they captured when they took out John's nightmare. That's the one that's possessing Blake. And now Blake is, running the whole thing now. And so now they have to take her out. And comes in to help, and the Negative Blake that's being taken control. Half of the half the mask is taken off, and the real Blake is in there, and then is eventually pulled out of the Negative Blake's counterpart, which is really weird because it's supposed to be the same being or whatever, because we just seen Weiss and Negative Weiss, and they weren't two different beings or whatever, but apparently that's how it works for Negative Blake, I guess, because it's the dream world. I guess because it's Weiss's dream world, that's what their whole argument would be. But so then regular Blake's out of Negative Blake, and so then they just continue fighting off Negative Blake until the final blow is struck by regular Blake, who destroys Negative Blake with the sword, and takes that down. Also, I should mention that also Yang did take out the statue before the fight as well. I forgot to mention that. She took out Weiss's statue father, basically. Big Nicholas. Nicholas. So yeah, that happened. There was also a flashback of Weiss, also early in the episode, of him with her grandpa, about her being the shield eventually for the family, which he had been for the Schneeb family. So there was that as well. But back to where we're currently at. Team RWBY, again, just takes out Negative Blake. And then the nightmare comes out of the real world, out of the neck. And then Xion basically captures that one and puts it in another red jar. That nightmare in another red jar. And they then, before they leave the dream world, all of RWBY and Jean basically tell Weiss what happened, that this is her dream world, and everything that happened, and she's embarrassed by it, and she's like, don't tell anybody about this, including you, John. Don't tell the rest of your team about it. And he's like, well, it's kind of late for that. They all end up waking out of the dream world, and they're all happy that they saved Weiss and completed their mission. Osmond's happy. Xion is happy. Everyone's happy. Then there's the ending cutscene, and then after the ending scene's over, there's an ending cutscene, and Weiss is just extremely embarrassed. They're back in their room or whatever, and she's basically telling, don't tell anybody, don't laugh, and they keep laughing. He's like, you said you wouldn't laugh, and she's just so embarrassed that she got taken control of, and she thinks that everyone's gonna laugh at her now or whatever, and that's where that ends. There is one more episode. I'm very interesting to see what this last episode is, or what what happens going forward with this series, this anime RWBY series or whatever. There's a lot of things still unanswered since this is a whole dream world thing. I know there was teases on Pura. I'm wondering if there's going to be more of the other characters are gonna be taking control or whatever. Because that seems like the only thing left. I mean, Yang hasn't been taking control. Ren has not been taking control. Nora has not been taken control of. Pure has been teased to have been taking control, but she has not been taken control of as of yet. But there is definitely Vine inside of her. So, yeah. I'm very intrigued to see what they end up doing with this last episode and what comes in for if there is more of this going forward. Anyways, okay episode. Very interesting to see what happens in the next one. Yeah, make sure to comment, rate, subscribe if you like my videos or any of the other videos. Comment down. And, yeah, that's about it. I am the SS Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace. Also, make sure to check out, besides my YouTube channel, on my Twitch, the SS Ultimate Goku, Instagram, SS Ultimate Goku, and I have my Discord server, which we talk about discussions of anime dubs, cartoons, sports, live action movies, live action TV series, all that good stuff. So yeah, check it out. And now I'm out. Peace.